One of the hardest parts about starting an online business or really starting anything is actually getting started. So, picking something to dive into. And in today's video, what I want to do is give you a raw look and sort of framework for how you can find potentially $1 million ideas for your Shopify store. This will be very valuable. I'll try to give you all the little tips that I know in a simple format so that you can listen to this maybe while you're driving, while you're at the gym, who knows, whatever it is that you do on your free time. And this is some of the stuff that I'm keeping in mind with our store right now. For example, one of our internal brands. If you've been following my channel, or if you haven't, my name's Ari. I own a meta ads agency. We work with 7-8 figure Shopify clients. And we also have our own stores. And this one, for example, is at about 80K for the month so far. So we'll definitely reach a 100K month on this store. And one of the interesting things about it is that this store is only 3 months old. So this whole entire business is only 3 months old, which is actually hard to believe. Let me turn up my brightness here a bit. Okay, so here's the first thing that you got to keep in mind. One of the things that I think a lot of people make a mistake on is trying to create demand. Now, look, this may come as a shocker for you, but the easiest way to make money is actually not to invent something. It's actually just to look at what's out there and basically copy what's working. Now, I don't think that's the exact best approach. I will say it does work, but I find that to be a little lame, right? Just completely ripping off another business. I don't like it. You can do it. It does work. But I think the best thing that you can do is, for example, use Shop Hunter. Shop Hunter, in my opinion, right now is probably the top product research tool out there. And look at the products that are trending, right? The things that are actually starting to really pop off. So, for example, this hot yoga dome, that's crazy. Like, I would have never thought of a yoga dome, but this thing, is actually doing quite well. And the reason why is, because there is huge demand behind it. So let me just show you this real quick so you can actually see what I mean. This yoga dome is literally just like a sauna for your home, basically, right? It's an inflatable yoga dome. Like, literally, that's all it is. But that's what's cool, is that this person saw the trend of saunas and hot yoga and then found a product that fit those categories. So keeping an eye out for the trends. Another thing that helps with that, besides Shop Hunter, is actually Trend Rocket. So this is Davey Fogarty's software, and I do like it. So what it does is it allows you to get trending stores and ideas. So ultimately, what you want to do here is not just straight up rip off other companies, but what's super helpful is to know what's going on out there, what's working out there. This is a lot about data. At least if you want to grow fast. If you want to, take your time and really build your brand and really do something innovative, that's going to take you years, and that's totally fine. I respect that a lot. But if you want to find success with a business quickly, especially with e-commerce, you really have to follow the data. And that's what a lot of people unfortunately don't do, including myself. I'll give you, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I get too artsy with things. I consider myself a bit of an artist. I really love design. I love all things that involve aesthetics. And because of that, sometimes I shoot myself in the foot and try to do things super uniquely, when in reality, it's probably best to just stick to something that works and make it practical. So finding that balance between practicality and design is where my head is at right now. That's why a lot of my stores or a lot of my businesses and just life as a whole can be, it's relevant to Japanese culture, for example, because over there they have a very clean aesthetic overall, but they also really focus on simplicity and functionality. And that's exactly what I'm thinking about these days. Another popular thing that you can use is store leads. Store leads just basically gives you data behind some stores. I mainly use this to cross-check some of the videos that I make, right? Because some people out there get mad if I say the store does 10 million a month. They just can't fathom that in their brains, but it's 100% accurate, or not 100% accurate, but it's pretty accurate when you cross-check between lots of different sources. And for example, with that, I found this store called Body Jewelry, and I realized, man, body jewelry is actually a pretty strong trend. Not a ton of competitors. I mean, obviously, these guys are competing and they're doing about 4 million a month. But here's the thing. I also changed my mind on competition. Competition really just shows you demand. And again, what I stated at the beginning, this is a very game-changing approach or framework to finding ideas, is going for the demand, right? So not being afraid of competition, but instead seeing that competition is a sign of a massive trend and massive demand. So staying on top of trends, a lot of people will not want to hear that, and that's fine. Again, I'm not a guru. I don't consider myself a guru. I mean, I guess I am an expert in a lot of ways, but you got to do your own research and, take all my advice with a grain of salt. This is literally just off the dome right now that I'm trying to give you some knowledge. But I truly value trends a lot personally. I think that's allowed me to, create strong businesses, and it's going to allow us to continuously grow because I know how to, keep an eye out for demand and trends. So that's something that we do at the Akemi Lab. That's something you should definitely join if you're considering, wanting to be a part of a community and get educated on all things e-commerce and online business. But for example, on here, we're constantly posting breakout trends. And here's one: wide leg pants. This is such a healthy trend right here. So here's how I would approach something like this. I would create literally a fashion brand, right? If you really like this trend, I would just create a fashion brand and start testing wide leg pants. That's it. And then, continuously start adding more products as you start finding some success. If this doesn't work out, maybe test another trend within fashion and go and approach it that way. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm saying is don't constrain yourself too much. Try to just find trends that you think could fit your brand, or if you don't have a brand, try to create a sort of general brand. For example, like I said, fashion, and then just test products in the fashion space. Now, for example, here's another one: press on nails. Like, that's another very powerful trend. So, you could take advantage of that if you have some sort of beauty store. Or faucets. I mean, this one's kind of funny, but let me see. Let me try to find another really good one. So this one is, of course, massive. So a seat gap filler. If you have some sort of car store or home store, right? This could fit very well within that. And you could try to find a really great supplier that sells something like this. And again, do more research. Don't just stop there, right? Like, go on Shop Hunter and look up some products within those categories. Look at Trend Rocket as well. See if you can find more products that are similar so that you can get some inspiration and not have to guess what works. That's ultimately the bottom line, is you don't want to guess what works. You want to find what works, find the demand, and then create your own, plant your own flag within it, right? And then go from there. That is how you should do it. Join the arena. Maybe do something unique. For example, for us, we have our own design language. So what that means, I mean, for some of you, that may not mean anything. And you don't need to worry about that. But for me, I like to establish a design language within my projects because it just makes me have a lot more fun with them. And that also allows us to replicate the process. So we'll be starting more brands this year using the same design language that we've been using to create these brands. Or this store that's at $100K a month. So ultimately, that's kind of all the stuff I wanted to tell you. I mean, I'll do a part 2. I don't like to keep videos too long. I want to make them concise. And then this is getting real bright. But hopefully this helped you out in some way. I know that this is what people struggle with the most. And I got to tell you, the real secret is testing, is actually jumping in their arena, like I said, and taking action, not being afraid to fail. Be an amateur. Amateur literally in French means lover. So love the process. Fall in love with the process. Don't be afraid to fail. You're not going to look like a fool for testing an idea and trying to start a business. I mean, that would be silly. Anybody who thinks that is probably pretty dumb, and you probably shouldn't listen to them. So get started. Join the Akemi Lab if you want all the support that we can possibly give you, and from the community and the trends and the research. That's really what Akemi Lab is a community and just like a research center. We publish a ton of research in there, including some tutorials and courses. So it's a really great offer, but that's not what this is about. I'm literally just trying to give you all the value I possibly can when it comes to finding products and just finding ideas. That's really the main thing. It's not just about products. It's about a business idea as a whole. But that's about it. See you in the next video. Peace.